Hello and welcome to the award-winning Waterman Wellness. Your pathway to health and wellness with local experts as your guides. I'm Melissa Hritzik. We have a lot of exciting Lake County medical news to share in this episode, including a new non-invasive treatment option is helping prostate cancer patients with hardly any side effects, and it's now available locally. This Mount Dora woman's breast cancer was found early thanks to her annual mammogram. Stay tuned to find out more about her experience receiving treatment locally. And a local hospital is focused on new heights and expanded services for our community. We begin this episode with exciting news for a local hospital that is getting a new look and a new name. Recently, Florida Hospital Waterman's parent company, Adventist Health System, announced it will soon become Advent Health. Local hospital employees learned about the transition at recent town hall meetings. Abel Beery, who is CEO of the Tavares Hospital, was so excited to share the news with local team members, he even included his sons. He says this is more than just a name change and will be important for the community.
This is a cultural transformation. It's a whole brand that evolves around ensuring that we have a consistent message across all our markets. And backed up by a culture that can deliver on a whole person care. It is for our community the same. They can continue to expect the same quality that they've been receiving from Florida Hospital Waterman. And as Adventist Health System as an organization continues to grow, it's important that we have a recognizable brand across the spectrum of care. So our community, through our board and others, really advocated to retain our legacy name. Since our humble beginnings in 1938 on the second story of a defunct hotel, we have actually maintained that name throughout the various changes. So while most of Adventist Health System hospitals are converting to Advent Health, followed by the city or town they're located in, we were able to retain our legacy name, Waterman.
You'll find more information about the hospital's announcement and what it means for Lake County by visiting fhwaterman.com. Next, it's the time of year when communities across the country renew their focus on breast cancer. According to experts, breast cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in women in the U.S., but survival rates are nearly 100% when identified early. This Mount Dora woman credits her annual mammogram screening with finding her cancer.
The doctor told me it wasn't like, it just started coming out. So it's not like, there's no stage to it. So what they did is like, they say I'm a candidate, something they call the savvy. It's something they put in the breast so I could receive the radiation. I had to do 10 sessions of radiation in 5 days. It was like twice a day. And I didn't have no problem.
Aristamine credits the Florida Hospital Waterman Cancer Center team and regularly attends support groups. Now she's on a mission to educate.
So they gave me a medicine called letrozole. So I've been taking that every day. I'm supposed to take that for 5 years. So I'm doing good. I'm great. I'm not worried about nothing right now. A lot of people don't like to go to the doctor, but if you don't go to the doctor, you cannot be saved. You have to go to the doctor to find out what's wrong with him.
The reason why it's important to have screening mammograms is that the survival rate for mammographically detected cancers, where you can't feel anything, is the 10-year survival is over 90%. So that tells you that the earlier you detect something, before you let it get too advanced where you can actually feel it, the outcomes are much better.
Florida Hospital Waterman is offering other ways to find out about prevention, early diagnosis, and resources for breast cancer patients. The annual pinking ceremony will be held on Thursday, September 27th in the hospital atrium. The community celebration features health education and resources, delicious snacks, and free goodies. Former Miss Florida and cancer survivor Kristen Bell Ludicky is the featured speaker at the 5th Annual Ladies Legacy Luncheon. The event, to be held on Friday, October 12th at Lake Receptions, will include fun, friendship, and inspiration. And tie up your sneakers to walk or run to fight breast cancer at the 5th Annual Pink Out 5K. Meet in downtown Tavares on Thursday, October 18th at 6 o'clock. Proceeds promote breast cancer awareness and help fund mammograms for women in need. For more details on all of these community events and to register for the luncheon and the 5K, Visit fhwatermanpink.com. Now we turn our attention to a new procedure to treat men diagnosed with localized prostate cancer. A Lake County hospital is one of the first in the nation to offer this non-invasive treatment option for the potentially deadly disease.
HIFU, or high-intensity focused ultrasound, is a treatment used to destroy a prostate that has cancer in it. We can either do focal areas, if we know that the cancer is in only one part of the prostate, or we can destroy the entire prostate if we think it's chock full of cancer. And we can do that without hurting any of the nerves that are between the prostate and the rectum, which routinely are damaged during surgery.
Dr. Cassell treated Bill Pellick of Tangerine using HIFU when he was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Well, the thing I liked about it is it didn't involve any surgery, really. It was non-invasive or minimally invasive. It seemed the best option for me.
Before we begin HIFU, the patient undergoes general anesthesia and a specialized probe is inserted in the rectum that does two things. It visualizes the prostate in a few different angles, and we have a very good representation of the three-dimensional picture of the prostate. What it also does, after it visualizes it, a very high intensity focused beam of ultrasound waves is focused up into the prostate. The probe in the rectum does not hurt the rectum or anything, but 4 centimeters in, that's where the focal point is, and that's where we plan our therapy. It's extremely exact in terms of only destroying the tissue that you assign the treatment to do.
Florida Hospital Waterman's commitment to cancer prevention extends to their employees. Recently, the hospital earned the CEO Roundtable Cancer Gold Standard accreditation. The national nonprofit organization of CEOs recognizes employers for implementing concrete actions to reduce the risk and burden of cancer among employees. For more information about Lake County cancer resources, visit fhwatermancancer.com. It's time to take a short break, but we'll have plenty more when Waterman Wellness continues. A Lake County hospital receives national recognition for its efforts to help save heart attack victims. A Summerfield woman never imagined she'd reach 8,000 steps a day. Stay tuned to find out about the robotic-assisted surgery that made it possible. And find out what these new moms and moms-to-be are excited about. You'll find additional health and wellness information in Waterman Wellness magazine. Visit watermanwellness.com to arrange for home delivery and see a listing of the specialists featured in this month's episode. You might want to check out these upcoming community events. Don't go away. Waterman Wellness will be right back.
Patients with strong religious convictions have fewer medical complications than those without. Today, strengthen your faith by increasing your time with God.
Welcome back to the award-winning Waterman Wellness, your pathway to healthy living with help from local experts. I'm Melissa Huritzik. A local hospital is celebrating a significant accomplishment that is good news for heart patients. The American College of Cardiology has recognized Florida Hospital Waterman for its expertise and commitment to excellence in treating patients with chest pain.
We have met a very rigorous set of standards and processes that ensure that we provide the best and most efficient and fastest care for patients that are experiencing heart attack. It prepares us to get to the procedure much quicker in that time is not wasted in getting a patient here to the hospital and doing an EKG in the ER. The EKG is performed on-site by EMS at first medical contact. 90 minutes is considered that valuable time when a patient is experiencing a heart attack, and any longer than 90 minutes and they'll experience muscle damage to their heart. It's very important to call 911 because when the EMTs get on the scene, they can immediately perform a 12-lead EKG. They also have medications to stabilize the patient, and it gives our team an additional 30 minutes to work with before the patient arrives to the hospital, and cuts down the time that it takes for us to treat that patient and open up that blocked artery.
Learn about the hospital's advanced emergency care services by visiting fhwatermaner.com. Next, we want to tell you about a serious illness that is caused by the body having an overwhelming immune response to an infection. For one Central Florida woman, the life-threatening illness came about after having a procedure at a local medical office.
And everybody thought I had the flu and a fever. And then by the second day, that's when my leg started changing colors. It just seemed like all of a sudden I was talking gibberish, and I lost control of all my bodily fluids. I was going down pretty quick.
Simmons was rushed to the Florida Hospital Waterman Emergency Department, where intensivist and director of critical care medicine, Louis Guzzi, identified her symptoms as sepsis.
Sepsis is a broad representation of an infection that's caused by a bacteria or a virus that is leading you to have the septic manifestations. You have an hour or two to make difference in sepsis because you already were sick. If you're volume depleted now, then you actually can go into renal failure, kidney failure, and those things. And it comes a spiral where your blood pressure goes down, your acidosis goes up, and you get sicker and sicker and sicker until the reality is sometimes we can't get you to recover because you are so septic at that point. We spring into action in the first hour by resuscitating with fluid. We manage your blood pressure, and we give you antibiotics.
Simmons was hospitalized for 7 weeks. Today, she has nerve damage and other issues due to the sepsis, but she says she and her family are grateful for her medical team.
I had never heard of sepsis before. I didn't know what it was, definitely had never heard of it, and so it was foreign to me. So we talked about Dr. Guzzi often, about how he was in charge of me, he took over, and he oversaw everything. He did an amazing job.
You'll find more information about the critical care services available here in Lake County by visiting fhwaterman.com. We turn to joint pain in our next story and the high-tech procedure local orthopedic surgeons are using to get patients moving again. Rebecca Boehm of Summerfield had been experiencing pain in her joints over time, but suddenly she says it got a lot worse.
I said, I feel like I've torn something or pulled something because it came on pretty fast and pretty hard. It was getting to the point where I could not comfortably walk at all.
Boehm went to see orthopedic surgeon Donald Perry, who discovered she had injured a meniscus in her knee and arthritis had developed.
He said we could fix it if we go in and get rid of that arthritis and put you a partial in there. And he said I can do both at the same time that way. And I said, then let's do what we need to do and get it all done at one time. And he said, right on.
If you have isolated arthritis to one localized area of the knee, you can do what's called a macoplasty or a resurfacing procedure. And those procedures do not require replacing the entire knee joint. You're just replacing a small surface area or a part of the knee, whether the inside part or the lateral part. And most of those patients can be treated on an outpatient basis.
I will admit, I've had a couple of little small surgeries before. I got the best care, the friendliest care that I think I've ever had in a hospital or with Dr. Perry. His people are great, but I got news for you. Waterman's people are super.
Now recovered, Boehm is focused on counting steps when she walks instead of counting on pain.
There's no way I could have done it. Not this kind. I've got 6,000 on it now, almost 7. And there's no way, except my husband says I cheat because I'm sitting in a rocker sometime and I tend to rock and I forget that I'm putting my foot down and it's counting because every time you put your foot down, it counts.
If you or a loved one is experiencing joint pain, visit the website on your screen to find a local expert who can help. Finally, an update on a significant expansion to enhance critical medical care in Lake County. Recently, Florida Hospital Waterman marked a milestone in construction of its new 4-story tower, which will house a doubled-in-size emergency department. The topping out ceremony celebrates the placement of the building's highest structural element, the top beam. Hospital employees and community members signed the beam prior to it being added to the structure. The expansion will increase the ED to 58 beds, as well as a 24-bed women and children's unit to be located on the second floor of the tower.
Topping out ceremony symbolizes completing the structural part of the building, either setting the last beam or finishing the concrete. Typically at these ceremonies we will put the evergreen up on top of the building, which will remain there until the project is actually completed. And that symbolizes good luck throughout the rest of the project and safety on the job and so forth.
When you have a world-class facility in your community, you attract the best and the brightest. And having a world-class facility in the emergency room at Florida Hospital Waterman right now will attract great physicians, and it will improve the quality of life in our community tremendously.
Meanwhile, more than 400 people got a sneak peek at the upcoming Center for Women and Children and learned about local health resources for families in the community. The free event was in recognition of World Breastfeeding Week. Attendees met the hospital's physicians, prenatal education experts, and lactation specialists. They were also invited to tour the existing Center for Women and Children.
Giving the moms and the families in this area a chance to see what we're all about before they actually have to come here. When they come back, it'll feel like they're coming to a friendly face, to someone that they can trust.
And I like that there's a lot of education and a lot of support. I think it's a great idea. If this is the first time they're doing it, I think it's a good thing.
I'm excited about the expansion. Everything's going to be brand new, state-of-the-art. And just in general, I feel like the atmosphere is more inviting, and it's going to be like a wake-up call for all those in the community who've been going elsewhere to realize you have great resources right here at Florida Hospital Waterman.
Learn more about the expansion project by visiting the website on your screen. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Waterman Wellness, your pathway to healthy living with help from local experts. To learn more about the experts featured in this program, please visit watermanwellness.com. Until next time, I'm Alyssa Hritzik for the award-winning Waterman Wellness.